Okay, here's my sound preferences. I like a variety of different tunings, but really what gets my juices flowing, starting from the lower octaves, is in the bass. I like my bass punchy, tight, fast with a kick. I like a little bit of energy down there, maybe a little bit of warmth, but not too much into the getting into bass bleeding. It's got to have enough weight to make male vocals, make piano, cello, percussions, have the right tonality. When it comes to my mids, I do like my mids and mid clarity, but I don't like too forward a mid, so that's the upper mids I'm talking about. So keep the pinna gain down a little bit and not make it too forward a presentation. And when it comes to the highs, I do like my sparkly highs. At my age, I'm probably losing a little bit of the high frequencies. But not too much where it's sibilant and in your face. So that's what I like. So here's something that might or might not be on your radar. You might not even know this brand existed, and neither did I until a few months ago when the hype train became a full-on choo-choo steamer. And not that kind of steamer. $168 is what Melody Wings first release called the Venus, and that's what they're asking for it, though it seems to be hard to find, and that pricing is all over the place. So I'll see if I can find you a direct link in the description. These guys might be new onto the market, but they're obviously not new players. And why I say that is nobody can get it this right on round one without already being in the market somewhere else. Either they're making it for somebody else. I'm not sure the full story there. The name of this company is called Hangzhou Risheng Intelligent Technology Company Limited. They're out of Fuwan, China. You can find their email at sales@melodywings.cn. Now, what are they? Well, they're a hybrid IM with these medium shells with the semi-custom wing, right? And they have that stabilized wood on the top, this kind of red. It's beautiful. It says Venus on the side. I got better pictures. It's got a stainless steel nozzle. It's got left and right marked on it. It's got flush 2-pin. This is the cable that it comes with. It's a 4-core thinner modular cable. Inside of the box comes nice 4.4, 3.5, and USB-C. You see where I'm going with all this? They have a cleaning brush. They have one of the shirt killer ties, which I refuse to use. And this really nice little case. It says Melody Wings on it. The hits don't stop there, actually. Everything so far up until this point has been screaming, who the hell are you guys? Where did you come from? And how did you learn how to tune so well, right? So inside of this is a good recipe for success, starting off with a 10 millimeter beryllium plated driver. I love beryllium drivers. They're fast, they're speedy, they sound natural. I'll get into sound in a bit. Melody Wings also was very open and transparent, saying they're using high quality Chinese balanced armatures. They're not Knowles, they're not Sanyan. And at this point, if you were to dismiss this IM and say, that's, using Chinese BA, I'll say something to that effect. And the fact that I think at this point, the Chinese have caught up, if not surpassed, in some of the balanced armatures when it comes to its competition like Knowles and Sonyan. Would I love to see this set with some Sonyan 2300 in here? Maybe in a future release. And I think the Melody Wings and the Chinese should be very proud of what they can do now with sound. And this is a perfect example of that, for sure. Three-way electronic crossover. They have specifications of 32 ohms and 108 decibel sensitivity, so they're easy to drive. Now, I'm going to make another few points later on in this video about to that regard. Let's actually talk. Let's talk about sources right at the beginning, because I think people's impressions of this IM will be all over the board, and I think it would really be your sources that are going to determine whether you come away gushing about this IM or you find it lacking. Though I have yet to see any not super glowing positive reviews about this set. The hype train is real. I think it's legit on this set, especially at $168. And in the end of this review, I'm going to compare it to two more. To give you a good sense of value, I think. And that's what came to my mind. Let's talk about one thing, and that's the sources, and I'll get that right out of the gate here. I think this IM really bends to your mood. And I mean that by it's very versatile with its sources and its selection and the synergy that you put together. And that's actually a really good thing, and it kind of shouts out to the amazing versatility and the value of this set. So, is it source picky? So, there's that fine line. Does it need a source, a certain kind of source, to make it sound great? The answer to that is no. But this IM is actually, with only 3 BAs and 1 dynamic driver, revealing enough to pick up on the subtle nuances easily, actually, of any source that you pair it with, right? Whether it be a warmer, a more analytical, or a very analog source. And I really took my time with this review and this set. Most of that is this set's fault, actually, because it was so pleasurable to listen to that I can just drift away into the music. And again, that plays a huge, huge part when I compare it to the F-Fool Dawn X, where I could really establish an emotional connection with the music using this set. And that was one thing that the Dawn X didn't do for me at $1,300. So really big point. My 3 favorite sources all happen to be, take this point very well, with big power. Okay, so over 500 milliwatts. So number 3, $220 was the Few QX13. Really like the synergy, the sound of that dongle with this IM. On desktop mode, that's almost 900 milliwatts. Ton of power into this, and it really shows. Number 2 was the $299, actually $399 MusicTech Nepo A100. Out of those 3 sources, that had the punchiest bass and the most uncolored sound. Really, really nice pairing. At number 1, Velcan Electronics VE, their new amplifier. It's under $200. This thing is called the VE Galvatron. Wow. This little amp is something special. There's going to be a full review coming up. I don't know what's inside it. A whole bunch of geeky stuff. It gets very warm to the touch, but it has massive amount of power, like insane. So I wouldn't use that amp on very sensitive IMs, but at 32 ohm impedance, it's perfect because that amp, even on low gain, it's got so much power that even just a quarter notch of the dial is loud, and super controlling, and the massive amount of headroom. This IM, and take this point, loves power. It scales fantastically. So the more power you put into it, the better your results are going to be. It's still incredibly easy to drive, but that was my point. The better the sources, the better experience you're going to have. And I know this IM is still very moderately priced, under $200, but it really deserves the best you can put it with. Absolutely. Don't hold back. Just thinking because it's quite an inexpensive set. So let's dive deeper into the bass. So first of all, here's a graph of this IM. Now, it looks very, and it is extremely well balanced. Really nice bass shelf. Very nice glide into the mid-range, a very gentle glide up into the upper mids, but not hollowed out. So and again, look at this extension of the upper mids treble and even full extended treble past 12K. I do not know how they did this with 3 balanced armatures, honestly. Unless there's that, unless they're what they're not saying, it's those composite BAs that are actually what other companies call 2 and they're put together. That's my sneaking suspicion. I don't know because I haven't taken one apart, but that's pretty damn amazing. And how smooth it is. It's not super peaky. So the bass, starting from the lowest octaves, sub bass rumbles when it's in the music, and when you have juice, when you have power feeding this thing, that's not going to bag out. And beryllium drivers again, I absolutely love the Slam. I wouldn't change the bass on this set for anything, not a thing. As I said earlier, would I have loved to see some Sonya maybe 2300 series for the mid-range? I'm hoping that can happen. I'm going to talk to Melody Wings about that. And so the mids are full. The vocals sound great. The instrumental, I'm a big fan of do guitar sound like guitar. Does drums sound drummy? Does Poncho Sanchez's drums sound like Poncho Sanchez can sell drums off of this IM? And the answer is absolutely yes. Piano needs a certain amount of note weight. Male vocals need a certain amount of note weight. This does it really well. So no matter what I was throwing at it, whether it be some rap, I was listening to a shit ton of Eminem lately. Here's another one I was listening to, The Next Hokage. If you're not familiar with who Rustage is, check him out. He doesn't look like you would think on his singing. It's pretty funny. Mids and vocals stand out on this rap track. Nice layering of between the vocals and instrumental, and great depth on the stage. And again, a really surprise that this set can do depth of on the soundstage as well as it does, competing with much higher end IEMs. So the mid-range is beautiful. It's smooth. It transitions well up into the upper registers, and it has enough energy up there to make everything sound full. So female vocals come across very nicely, very articulate. Everything I listened to sounded really good for vocals straight across the board, and instrumental the same. Again, and here's what really surprised me was the top end of this set is, again, I'm just kind of shaking shaking my head and trying to figure out how these guys did this much beautiful treble top end with 3 balanced armatures. And I keep thinking back to the Dawn X, right? ESTs, a shit ton of balanced armatures, and this thing pretty close. Anyway, I'll get there. When I threw this on to, say, a smoother source, and I'm testing the Ibasso D17 R2R and 1-bit new tube DAC amp. The Venus really settles right in and belts out some really smooth vibes, great details, great balance across the board, smooth top end, and really natural sounding mids. Behind Blue Eyes from The Who, right? Was an epical musical trip through time for me. The Venus surprisingly has awesome strums on the guitar and is very musical sounding in the vocals. Now, with sometimes balanced sets like this come across a bit dry and boring and not musical. Well, the Venus is not like that at all, actually. It's surprisingly has a phenomenal balance of musicality, and technical chops that are, again, shockingly amazing for $168. Many are going to get some massive enjoyment with this set, and its tuning and its price. I think Melody Wings is winner, super fried chicken dinner. On live recordings, I listen to this to Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. Here I'm listening to how much emotional depth can I get in listening to a live recording? Do I feel like I am transported into the venue that this is at? I'm there. Instead of listening to gear, am I in the venue listening to this concert? And again, surprisingly, this set does it fantastic. I used this song to get a really good gauge of that, and it didn't let me down, that's for sure. I will say something again. This is not a low volume set. If you listen to the set at low volumes, it might sound a bit dull and boring. The bass won't come out to play, and the highs and the extension might not be there. Feed it some power. So if you don't listen to music at medium to high volumes, you probably should not pick up this set. If you have some power, I would say 500 milliwatts or more, then by all means, absolutely. And you look for, before I wrap this up, I'm going to give you a couple examples in my journey. So one thing in my little listening station downstairs that I have are my favorites that I pick up when I'm in a mood. And I was listening to the set and I went, I love this set as much as I do my The-Audio original Oracle. That is a legendary set for its tuning. I know so many people who have bought it, let it go, bought it again. At $539 is what they were asking for it. It's 1 DD, 2 BA, and 2 ESTs. This, to me, is one of my absolutely loved favorite IAMs. Well, bass on the Venus, in comparison, is just a bit less sub-bassy that the Oracle has, and more on the punchy, attack, speedier side. So if I had, and here's a graph of the two, just to give you a visual representation here. It's pretty good. I'll put it at 1,000 hertz, and you can see the kind of the difference here. Kind of, if you're reading this graph, there's a little bit less sub bass, there's a little bit more sub or mid bass, there's a little bit less into the mid range, and there's more information into the upper mids, and there's even more treble extension. Here's where the Oracle does kind of edge out the Venus in the fact that those ESTs do add that shimmery, really nice top end. But tonality wise, these two IMs are extremely complementary and trade blows. Remember, one's $539 and the other one's $168. So that's some pretty massive praise for the Venus. Now, let's talk about Dawn X. And I liked very much that IM. Was I enamored with it? No. At $1,300, I think in the back of my mind, I was thinking they've done a lot of work, also using a whole bunch of unbranded balanced armatures, and I think they're using Sonyan bone conduction driver. So, and one DD, 8BA, 4 EST, and a bone conduction quad brid, right? So there's a whole lot going on this thing. And you look at these two graphs, there is more sub bass into the Dawn X, but I think the Venus actually hits harder. And the way it's tuned for me is more exciting. There's more upper mids that's going on there. And I don't know if that 5K little bump that you see there, but it sounds just enough energy to add more excitement. It's not as... It adds more life. And I think the life translated down to musicality, it's translated to an emotional connection, where I just didn't hit it with the Dawn X, but the Venus was easy. On first listen, it was like, I really like this IM. In the back of my mind, I was also trying to say, take the hype train hat off, listen to the set and just really judge it for what it is. And that's what's taken me so long to actually put out this review. I really wanted to get it right and get it to come across. So $1,300, $168, where I enjoy a $168 one more than a $1,300 one. I'm not saying the Dawn X is bad or anything. I just say that for me, I just enjoy this tuning. I would pick up this set over the Dawn X any day of the week. So to wrap this entire review up, Melody Wings may have come out of nowhere. Obviously, whoever's tuning their stuff, whoever's putting together their marketing and their packaging, there's a whole lot of know-how going on in behind the scenes. There's no way you can get this much stuff this right on first go at $168 if you don't have some serious know-how and stuff behind you. So full congratulations to Melody Wings for this release. Fantastic. Am I looking forward to future releases? Oh, you bet. This one is high on my watch list, that's for sure. Great packaging, accessories. Oh, the other thing I'm going to mention too, it's one of the very first times that I've actually ever used the stock ear tips that come with these things. My huge advice would be to use these. They look like BGVP W01s, wide bore, and they flare out a little bit, or like they're a little bit firmer. They're shorter, and they're firmer than the Baroque stage tips. That's what they kind of remind me of, but they provide a better seal in the box. Fantastic. So you get a baller modular cable, great case, fantastic looking IMs, USB-C and 3.5, 4.4, fantastic tuning. This set really doesn't do anything wrong. You can listen to it for long periods of time because the shells are very comfortable. For me, at least, it's all subjective. No ear pressure, no driver flex, and just a wonderful tuning that kind of checks off all my... It's not a bass head I love my big bass head sets too, but whatever this set is doing is really magical. lots of special sauce in this release. So that's how I heard this set. So I'm out for now. I'm leaving this on a very positive note because I think this set is absolutely banger, terrific, market disruptor. Great job, Melody Wings on the Venus.